Strong thunderstorms moving back into central and eastern Kentucky, and I'm tracking them on your Defender Radar Network in a moment.
A Southern Kentucky Sheriff's Department is questioning a man after a double shooting. We'll have the latest live from Laurel County. And we're learning more about the driving history of a man that police say caused a deadly DUI-related crash that injured several people.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott reporting. We have a nice summer preview moving into the Commonwealth, and that will hang on into the big Memorial Day weekend. Take a look. This is a live picture right now of downtown Lexington. Steamy temperatures and some scattered storms will carry us into our weekend. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey. Chris, we've got some storms that are trying to fire right now.
Yeah, healthy line of thunderstorms out there right now, Amber, and that is right on top of central Kentucky. Keep in mind, many of us started out the day with some booming showers and thunderstorms, better than an inch of rain into parts of Lexington, and here we go again. Look at this very impressive line of thunderstorms that is moving in just in time for the evening commute for many of us across central Kentucky. Let's follow the track of this line now from Williamstown just to the northwest of Georgetown. Worst of the weather is through downtown Frankfort, right on top of Lawrenceburg and Versailles, and eventually this will scoot into Georgetown, right on top of Midway, and into the western part of Lexington coming up within the next 15 to 20 minutes or so. Versailles, boy, the skies are darkening to our west. Speaking of, we're looking at our live sky cam here from WKYT on that western skyline, and we are indeed picking up on that line of thunderstorms as it works its way into the western side of town, and eventually that'll work its way across the entire downtown Lexington area. We picked up 1.17 inches of rain here at the station this morning. We may pick up a half to 1 inch of rain again this afternoon. That line of thunderstorms weakening just a little bit west of the Harrodsburg and Danville area. Then we get to Campbellsville. Look at all the lightning there. Folks in Columbia and Liberty batten down the hatches. Got a lot of rain coming your way, producing some flooding around parts of Bowling Green now. Once we get that line through here over the next few hours, we're going to see some general light rains that will continue behind that deep into the evening, and then another little round of showers tries to fire up into the wee hours of the morning. So, Amber, we're going to continue to watch what is out there now. It's nothing that is truly severe. It's just going to be noisy, and it's going to produce a lot of rain, maybe a little too much in some local spots.
All right, Chris, thank you. A Southern Kentucky Sheriff's Department believes an argument led to a shooting today. Deputies are currently questioning a man in the shooting of two people this morning at his home. Our Victor Puente has the latest from Laurel County. It's our top story now at 4. Victor?
The Sheriff's Department tells me they have detained one man. Two others were taken to the hospital. They tell me they do expect to file charges in this shooting. This happened around 11 a.m. at a home on Locust Grove Road in the eastern part of Laurel County. Deputies say two men drove to this home and got into a confrontation with a third man who lives there. They say during that fight, that man shot the other two, sending both of them to the hospital. They say one of them was shot in the head, the other in the stomach. They then say that man went outside of the mobile home and threw the gun on the ground and waited for sheriff's deputies to arrive. He was detained and brought to the Sheriff's Department, where they were still questioning him up until a few minutes ago. I watched them walk him over to the detention center in handcuffs. They haven't released his name yet. The deputies tell me that at first they had hoped to take these two men by air to the University of Kentucky Medical Center, but because of rain in the area, they ended up having to take them by ambulance. Live in Laurel County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Victor, thank you. Deputies say they're also looking for a fourth man who was at the home at the time of the shooting and was driving a stolen vehicle. A grand jury will now hear the case against a Lexington man accused of killing his girlfriend. Police say William Pomeroy shot 43-year-old Amy Kogel multiple times at the couple's home last week. During a hearing this morning, detectives said Pomeroy told them the two had a dispute over money, and she pulled a gun on him before he was able to get it away and then shoot her. Pomeroy is charged with murder and evidence tampering. He's being held without bond. We'll have more details from court on WKYT News at 5. We're working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon, Amber. A driver killed during a crash in Casey County was not supposed to be driving at all. 62-year-old David Bryant died after his truck hit two cars head-on along Highway 70 west of Liberty. 3 other people were injured. State police believe Bryant had been drinking. We've discovered he had a long history of DUI arrests and was driving on a suspended license.
And I got to talking to state troopers, and then I asked them, I said, was he drinking? They said, yeah, he was drinking, and that he was moving at a high rate of speed.
A search of court records shows numerous DUI and other offenses dating back at least 20 years. We'll have more on Bryant's history and an update on the other crash victims on WKYT News at 4:30. A recanvass of the votes in Kentucky's Democratic presidential primary have resulted in no change in the election outcome. Election officials across the state checked voting machines this morning to make sure the results from last week's primary were accurate. Senator Bernie Sanders requested the recanvass because Hillary Clinton won the primary by less than 0.5%. While recanvasses don't typically change the outcome of an election, Sanders hoped today's results would swing momentum in his favor.
I want people to understand that the Sanders campaign is well within its rights to do this. Some counties aren't fully electronic, and it's very possible that some changes could occur.
Fayette County election officials finished their recanvass in Lexington in about 20 minutes, and they did not find anything wrong. We'll break down the recanvassing results statewide ahead on WKYT News at 5 o'clock. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. He has been the presumptive Republican nominee for weeks now, but today Donald Trump officially crossed the 1,237 delegate threshold, clinching the GOP presidential nomination. Diane Gallagher has the latest on the race for the White House.
Just a few weeks shy of his campaign's one-year anniversary, Donald Trump is marking a major milestone.
Look, if I didn't win by massive majorities, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you today.
The billionaire is now officially the Republican Party's presumptive nominee, clinching support of the required 1,237 delegates Thursday, when some previously uncommitted, unbound delegates made it clear they are now on Team Trump. The last man standing out of an originally massive 17-person Republican field celebrated at a campaign stop in North Dakota today.
The folks behind me got us right over the top.
His focus now squarely on the Democrats and November.
Believe me, I will beat Hillary.
It's the unofficial end to what has been an unconventional and often ugly primary campaign from the first-time politician, filled with nasty nicknames.
Crooked Hillary, Lion Ted, Little Marco.
Raucous rallies.
Get him out of here, get him out.
And controversial comments.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists.
And while Trump has the delegates to secure the nomination, that still doesn't mean everyone in the party is on board. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan still seems hesitant to endorse.
What I'm most concerned about is making sure that we actually have real party unity, not pretend party unity. Real party unity, because we need to win this election in the fall.
Trump will continue to be called the presumptive nominee until Republicans officially cast their ballots at the convention in July. In Washington, Diane Gallagher.
A scam warning for Commonwealth Credit Union customers ahead in Money Watch. How to avoid getting your information stolen.
I'm Danielle Nottingham in Los Angeles. Coming up, Whole Foods launches a new line of stores targeting millennials.
Up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
A scam alert from the Commonwealth Credit Union. They're warning customers about a scam regarding their account information. That begins today's Money Watch. The warning comes after several customers report receiving suspicious emails claiming their accounts are locked and their card access is blocked. The email then advises people to click an attached link to verify their account information. Credit union officials say they'll never ask customers for account information through email, and if you have received one of these emails, they advise contacting the credit union. The credit union says they're confident no customer information has been compromised. Health insurance companies in Kentucky want to increase rates by an average of 17% next year. State officials blame some of the increases on the failure of the Kentucky Health Cooperative. Many of the company's high-risk customers were picked up by other companies, leading to higher rates. The rate requests cover plans sold on and off Connect, the state's health insurance exchange. Governor Bevin plans to dismantle Connect by the end of this year. A Chinese startup called Moshi plans to unveil a bendable smartphone in the coming months. The smartphone has a flexible touchscreen that can be worn as a watch or bracelet. The phone only comes in black and white, but a color version is in the works for 2018. The company plans to release 1,000 bendable phones by the end of the year with a price tag of about $760. And Ford is recalling about 271,000 F-150 pickups from 2013 and 2014 model years that have 3.5-liter V6 engines. The automaker says they need to fix a fluid leak that can reduce braking power. The company reports 9 crashes with no injuries. Whole Foods has launched a newer, cheaper brand of its popular supermarkets aimed at millennials. The first location is now open in Los Angeles, with several other stores scheduled to open across the country in the next 2 years. Danielle Nottingham gives us a look inside.
This is 365 by Whole Foods, a smaller and more affordable version of its flagship stores. Heather McCallum lives less than a mile away.
This is my dream, literally. Like my friends, my husband was joking. He was like, I think you got more excited when you found out this was opening than like the day I proposed to you.
Whole Foods has been struggling to keep up with competitors like Trader Joe's and is battling declining sales and falling stock prices. This new brand was built to court the hip and budget-conscious millennial consumer.
What are the biggest differences that we'll find here?
Sure. Well, you know, it looks different, it feels different. There's less products than you'll find at a Whole Foods market. We have a lot more grab-and-go type options.
You won't find fish or meat counters here, but there are more added touches like a beer and coffee bar and stations where customers can custom blend tea.
The 365 model is also making checkout easier with lanes that only accept Apple Pay and credit cards with 5 items or less.
Other high-tech additions include electronic price tags and iPads to order hot food.
Thank you so much.
McCallum says that's enough to keep her coming back. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
It is pretty cool. Whole Foods will open 2 more stores in Oregon and Washington State later this year. 10 more stores are scheduled to open up in California, Texas, Ohio, Illinois, Indiana, Georgia, and Florida in 2017.
School is out and summer is in. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about on the last day of school in Fayette County today.
Hey, thunderstorms blasting into parts of central Kentucky right now. Up next, we're going to track the potential for some small stream and street flooding as heavy rains take aim at much of central Kentucky. It's a busy radar in just a moment.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, here we go again. Booming thunderstorms pressing into central Kentucky. A day that started out with some very heavy rains into central Kentucky is ending with heavy rain, thunder, and lightning pressing on back into town. Let's get into it. Busy Defender Radar Network. These are not severe thunderstorms that we are tracking. They're noisy, and they're going to put down a ton of rain. So much rain that we could be talking about the possibility of some stream and some street flooding. Let's get into it now into parts of the Lexington Metro from Georgetown over toward the Versailles area. It's where the heaviest rain is currently coming down. Let's track this as it moves to the east over the next hour. Should be into Danville coming up at around 421. Downtown Lexington, just a matter of about 15 minutes or so. Carlisle, Richmond, and Flemingsburg showing up within the next hour. Up close and personal, Cell moving into Cynthiana, weakening a little bit. Look at the action, though, from Versailles to Georgetown, and that is pushing into an area, Lexington, that picked up in some cases a little greater than 1 inch of rain this morning. So as we watch this moving in over the next couple of hours, small stream and street flooding is a possibility. Georgetown really coming down right now. Toyota plant towards Scott County High School. Dunbar getting close to the high school on the southwest side of Lexington, just to the west of Keeneland and Bluegrass Airport. Torrential rains on top of Woodford County and Versailles. That extends through the Mortonsville area down towards Salvisa, crossing the river, heading toward Wilmore and Nicholasville very shortly. Harrodsburg, couple of rumbles of thunder. Then all of a sudden we notice this action picking up in both intensity-wise and lightning-wise around Campbellsville. Just had someone on Twitter tell me they picked up 1.65 inches of rain in 30 minutes. These are torrential rain producers that can cause some quick rises on streams and street flooding out there. So Columbia, Liberty, on top of you. Folks around the Russell Springs area over toward Lake Cumberland, this is rolling on into town as well. One more little cluster behind that may target more southern parts of Kentucky into northern Tennessee. But as we go through the next 24 hours, heading into tomorrow, it's the same forecast. Basically, you could have a thunderstorm complex at any given time with temperatures that will be generally running into the 80s. Now, by 7 o'clock this evening, a lot of this stuff is beginning to diminish across eastern Kentucky, but it's like we talked about this last night. I was worried about a bunch of little boundaries or mini cold fronts laying around today to ignite more thunderstorms. Said this morning we may wake up to a thunderstorm. We did it. Tomorrow afternoon, potential is there to get really steamy with mid-80s, and you guessed it, the threat for some additional thunderstorms out there. Forecast into our Saturday. Upper 60s to around 70 to start, mid-80s with a threat for some thunderstorms as we go into the afternoon and evening. Here's that 7-day forecast. What you see is what you get. Daily round for a thunderstorm or two and the muggy air that rolls on into next week. Let's get a quick check on traffic before the storms hit. Here's Officer Don.
Live look at Lexington rush hour traffic, and we have a collision on the inner loop of the circle just past Woodhill. Got reported it looks like we may see the right lane blocked there for a bit. Of course, slowdowns on Versailles Road going to happen as Chris was talking about the weather coming in. Outbound Versailles right now holding its own as far as drive times go. Same to Nicholasville, 12 to 15 minutes. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the afternoon. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. We are tracking some breaking news that's happening right now in Lexington. Emergency crews are out of business right now after a van crashed into the building. It happened just before 4 at Guarantee Pest Control on East 7th Street. Our Monique Blair is live at the scene with the breaking details. Monique.
Yeah, Amber, this happened right out here at the corner of East 7th Street and Magnolia Avenue. I'm going to move out of the way to show you exactly what is going on right now. Right now, this red van you see that somehow crashed into the Guarantee Pest Control business here is in the process of being towed away, and it is kind of hard to see from this angle, but there is significant damage to this building. Now, right now, we are not exactly sure how all of this happened, and you can see emergency crews are working very hard right now. Employees who work at the Guarantee Pest Control are on scene right now, and they tell me they don't believe anyone was hurt, but again, there is a lot going on out here right now. But I am expected to talk with a firefighter in the next couple of minutes about exactly what happened, and we will be sure to keep you updated with all of this developing information. For now, I'm reporting live in Lexington. Monique Blair, WKYT.
All right, Monique, thanks so much. Well, switching gears, did you hear that big sigh of relief today? It was probably all the students and teachers across central Kentucky celebrating because for most, summer is finally here. Our Deanne Stevens is out and about today joining us from the pool where some kiddos are kicking off their favorite season. Hi, Deanne.
Of happy little campers here today. It is the last day of school here in Fayette County. What are we doing? We had to just like take a dip in the pool, didn't we? Yeah! Big old celebration going on with the last day of school. We got a bunch of 5th graders here who are really celebrating because these guys are headed to middle school next year. What are we going to do this summer though? What are your plans?
Swim in the pool.
Yes. Swim? Anything besides swimming? Anybody? Hey. Now listen. We're going to bring it down a notch. I know it's the last day and all, but we don't want to scare everybody at home.
Okay.
What about middle school next year? Do you guys have big plans? Are you nervous at all? They say no for now, but I know there's a little nerves going on when there's big changes, but you have 3 months to think about that, right? Yeah, okay. You guys go jump in the pool. Let's talk to some moms who have gathered over here. Kristen and Heather with us. It's not just for the kids. You guys are celebrating too, right?
Absolutely, at least for a little while, right, Heather?
Yeah, until you're stuck in the house with them for the next 3 months.
That's all right, we'll be right back here.
We're already planning schedules for that.
Does this bring back memories for you guys, like the last day of school and how exciting it is?
Yes, I was a lifeguard when I was in high school and things, and it was always, that was my favorite thing, was to get out of school to be able to go to the pool. That's where we spent our whole summer, so.
And I'm guessing you're going to spend most of the summer at the pool today and the rest of the summer too, Kristen.
Exactly, between swim team and mom time and just having a great time as a family, we're really looking forward to it.
All right, a lot of folks looking forward to summer with the kickoff of the last day of school, the first day of summer for many. Here we are at Veterans Park Clubhouse with the kiddos celebrating. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
There's a link between cancer deaths and unemployment. That's ahead in Better Living. And Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $218 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $90 million. It's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Many obese young adults are unaware they're at an increased risk for chronic kidney disease. Researchers at Albert Einstein College of Medicine say between 6 and 11% of obese young adults have elevated levels of a protein in their urine. That signals that their kidneys aren't functioning normally. The authors say very few of them were told they had a heightened risk for developing kidney disease. And more than 260,000 cancer-related deaths worldwide are being blamed on the global economic downturn that started in 2008. Researchers from Harvard and Oxford say unemployment during the economic crisis may have limited people's access to health care, leading to late-stage diagnoses or delayed treatment. Now let's head over to Chris for another check of the weather, and it's starting to become a little active out there, Chris.
Yeah, it really is. We're watching these thunderstorms that are right on top of central Kentucky right now. Amber, photogenic storms. We're looking outside, seeing this massive shelf cloud that is coming on the leading edge of our thunderstorm line across parts of central Kentucky. And you're looking at this. We got the trees here at the bottom that are swaying back and forth. That is textbook when you look at a shot of a shelf cloud that is rolling on through. Look, a few scud clouds in there. Those are the clouds that sometimes folks confuse with a funnel. Those are not funnels. Those are just little dangling clouds hanging low in the sky. There is the line that we are tracking into central Kentucky. It is not severe. Yes, we're getting gusty winds, a lot of lightning, and some torrential rain. It's more the heavy rain threat that I'm concerned about as we track the potential for a little stream and street flooding just ahead of WKYT News at 4:30, and it starts right now.